was that, 10 minutes ago that I said I was gonna get my act together and start a Grand Theft Auto stream or whatever. Yeah, whatever, dude. I can't work anything right at the moment, so fuck it. Fuck it, man, fuck it. It's a good, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's me, JJ, again. I don't think I really need to do an intro, do I? No, what I mean by that is that, like, um, what do I mean by that? Sometimes when you're streaming on these different platforms, um, you can lose your connection to the currently active stream as the streamer, as the guy putting the stuff out there, the broadcaster. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So, as the broadcaster, you can actually disconnect, and sometimes it will reestablish the connection. Um, you know, real internet, real TCP/IP like, yeah. But I think there's like a time limit, or not necessarily a limit, but like if you disconnect, if I were to disconnect from this stream by unplugging my Ethernet cable from the network card, and yeah, I actually have one of those in today, but I also have a redundant Wi-Fi connection, so that wouldn't actually. But my point is the connection would drop out, and if you plug the Ethernet back in before it disconnects permanently, it'll still like reestablish your connection. Like I said, real TCP/IP like, which is Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. That's what it's supposed to do. The internet, it's supposed to make solid connections. It's true. With TCP/IP, or with the TCP part, it's a three-way handshake. That's what makes the connection secure. With the UDP, which is kind of how the streaming works, that's the Unigram, or wait, Unicast Datagram Protocol. Wait, hold on. It's Datagram Protocol is the DP. No, not dual penetration. Get your mind out of the gutter. Donkey Punch? Is that what you were actually thinking? Oh, I see. Here, I gotta type that into the chat now. um, what was the topic? I've got the DP typed in. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, TCP, UDP. There you go. UDP. That's the Unigram, uni, oh, datagram protocol. But I think it's just like unidirectional. That's what it is. It's kind of like a microphone, I think. The unidirectional as opposed to the bidirectional. That would make sense to call a UDP packet unidirectional, because there's only one. There's no handshake, So it's basically on a one-way trip. The UDP packet, the streaming. Sometimes the streaming these days happens with the TCP, but it just seems to be a hassle, I guess, depending upon your viewership. Because packets drop, and then the network has to figure out what to do with the dropped packets, whether to rebroadcast, retransmit, or give up, or and it's like, what? It's like what? Real internet like. No, that's all I was trying to get at, was the whole being a streamer and then having your stream cut out, if you have that happen in your life ever. I'm sure that there are plenty of smartphone users out there They basically never lose their internet connection, right? Because they live in the city, they got their cell phone, it's always charged up, they're basically always on. I'm sure there's plenty of functional people in this world that are like that, you know, as opposed to me tripping over my Ethernet cables, falling on my face. Oh no, I unplugged it. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little more dramatic than usual around here. But I digress. Yeah, it does happen sometimes. The stream drops out and then reestablishes, and no one's the wiser. I mean, I guess you could say no one's the wiser. What do I mean? Well, like yesterday during the Lost in the Damned Part 1 stream, it like the video dropped out, and I'm sure people are gonna notice if they're watching because it's significant drop, and one might wonder, well, JJ, what's happening? What's up with that? Is that your internet? Is that your hardware? Is that what's going on? Excuse me. It's that yesterday. It was mostly Wait a minute. I'm trying to remember. Excuse me. When it pertains to the video game, when we're streaming The Lost in the Damned, that was if there were any cutouts or anything like that. It would have had to have been internet related. But on the other streams where it is not video game content, I think that's my iMac sputtering and running out of processing, you know, cycles. It's all out of cycles. Ah! So, and it does look different. Like when the CPU is running out of CPU cycles, the cuts and the drops, the frame drop, the cutout of the video, it looks a lot quicker and sharper. You know, like it just happens like all of a sudden. Whereas when the internet is struggling, you will be able to tell that the internet is struggling because it'll seem like it's gonna cut out, but it won't, and then it will. You know, as opposed to when the CPU is all used up and then it just cuts out. That's how you can tell the difference. But, oh, looks like Zot's CPU got full, as opposed to, oh, looks like Zot's internet got full. You can tell the difference if you know what to look for. But I digress. How do we get on that topic? Yeah, I'm nursing this watered down Monster Zero. I think it's called a Zero. Maybe it's just called a no sugar added. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Anyways, and it's still pretty good. It's not that watered down. That's what happened. I made a monster, and I was gonna try to improve the computer situation, you know, calibrate it for streaming purposes since it's like totally not. Well, and then I guess I fell asleep because that's why there's a full glass of Monster here. It's watered down. It's cool. Anyhow, yeah, I will try to make it to a dentist today. Um, it's weird because it is Labor Day, right? Happy Labor Day. I guess I'll type that. Happy Labor Day. Like it is Labor Day, right? Like people are getting the day off, and it's like for a good reason, right? Right? You don't have 3-day weekends when the holiday is on a Saturday or a Sunday, right? The holiday's got to be on a Friday or a Monday for it to make it a 3-day weekend. So, happy Labor Day. I know that much. And so what? Yeah, even though it's Monday, I'm pretty sure it might be tough to find a dentist, especially on short notice. You know, I've noticed that just about everything from dentists to doctors to veterinarians, everybody is always booked up. Even with the fiber optic internet that I did mention, we're on Quantum now, right? Well, anyways, that was like a 2 month wait, so that seems to be the standard in this first world nation, in this part of the country. Is if you're gonna get an appointment to get anything done, you're gonna have to wait 2 months, and I can say that because I've had a lot of appointments. So, and that may sound like a long wait, but hey, if you know ahead of time, well, then you can try to compensate because that is a long wait. You're right. I suppose on the bright side, I guess. I guess I didn't have to wait very long in the waiting rooms for my appointments that had waiting rooms. The appointments that I had to wait 2 months for, when I actually showed up on time, I didn't have to wait terribly long. So that was, but I mean, like, I mean, give me a break now. I used to carry around a Game Boy, like back in the 80s. Like, I've pretty much been prepared to wait in a waiting room all my life. Unless I ran out of batteries, of course. In which case, well, I guess I'll pick up a magazine and hope it's a good one. A lot of these doctors' offices don't even have magazines anymore. They either have some literature, like pamphlets, brochures, for some of the wares that they're hawking for their third-party affiliates, or nothing at all. A lot of them. But typically, your primary care doctors will still have magazines in the waiting room, the waiting lobby room thing. Oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm gonna try to get my tooth fixed. It's not my tooth, it's my nerve root. Whatever. Anyways, not to overcomplicate things. I am gonna try to get my tooth fixed, and I am gonna try to do this Grand Theft Auto stream. But first, yeah, gotta try and wake up. It's not easy. Not easy being cheesy. Not easy doing nothing. Sure. I heard Donald Trump got shot. Yeah, his ear. You guys haven't seen me since May. I can pretty much bring up anything between now and May, and it's not random at all. That's you haven't seen me. So what else? Um, uh, I don't know if this is news. But I know that Google is supposed to have a video game console called the Yeti. I don't know if that's dropped or if that's real or whatever. I'll be honest, I think that's a terrible name for the video game console because I don't know if you know this or not. Here, I'll demonstrate. Let's head over to Google here. Any nice private browser. window, and I'll just type in whatever. All right, and it's gonna say, we're sorry, we didn't find any of that. I don't have a GPS hooked up to this computer. There's no location to know. So this is the Yeti, right? And I hate that guy because I hate it when I have no search results. You know, I'm a video gamer, I'm a musician, song composer, a computer scientist, and computer security researcher. So let's just say sometimes I Google some weird stuff, you know, like if I was to Google something like pound bang slash bin slash sh, that is going to come up with stuff. It's going to come up with a lot of stuff. And I figure that's normal, right? That's like as normal as Googling something like whoops, like like void main. You look that up. Yeah. But then if you look up something like I don't know, let's say you got like a binary of some type. Just a moment. So let's say you got like a binary of some type. Let's say you echo, you know, blah 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 into a file. Almost looks like a password, right? So you cat out your file, and that's what it contains. Of course, if you look at the binary data inside the file, that's what it really contains. The hexadecimal numbers that represent the binary numbers. And, you know, like let's say if I were to Google for this, I wouldn't necessarily expect that to come up because I created this file. This is a unique file, okay? But if I were to go and look at a file like, let's look at something like command.com. You see at the top where it says Microsoft Windows version 10? That's what it looks like when you execute command.com. That's our command prompt right there. Actually, I think these days they call it cmd.exe. Okay. We just executed it. Okay, this is the file size. Oh. Hey. My bad. Exit. Exit. Oh, that's too bad. I thought I was in the Windows system directory. Let's go back. I guess that was when I was in Linux, huh? Okay, back to Windows System 32, where we were looking at the command.exe file. Okay, dir cmd.exe. Right. So we can see that the file size is 289,792, right? So that means that if I were to Google 289,792 and command.exe, I would expect to find some open directories like this right here. No. Here, I'll add one more parameter because Google doesn't show. It's got a weird ranking system for its results these days. It seems to me like I don't know whether Google's hands are tied by, powers that be or whatever. But it seems like Google's made a lot of bad choices lately. See what I mean? I should totally have thousands of hits for that right there. That's like 289, 792 bytes CMD. I should find like, you know, this should come up with so much more. How do I know? Well, because I just showed you. This is not a backdoor or any kind of like this is not a doctored cmd.exe. This is like the one that comes with Windows as of 2021 October 6th. Pretty standard. But whatever. Those are the little minute details, the metadata, if you will, that I will collect, that I will look for, that I will find, that I will collect, and then I will Google, search, query, I'll look up some of these very specific details, and I'll get the Yeti. And that pisses me off because I figure the more specific that I am, with my query, the more accurate my results should be. That is a fair world. I want to live in a fair world. So if I go out of my way to make an awesome search query, well, you better go out of your way to give me awesome search results. And whatever the hell Google's doing these days, these are not awesome search results. And that's exactly what that little Yeti represents, is not so awesome search results. Like, that's a good search result. That's a good search result. He's doing way better than me. Another good search result. See, all his search results turn out great. Meanwhile, all of mine suck. And I'm the guy that's going out of my way to make awesome queries, like very specific. And again, like I was saying, if you look at the contents of a file, like that CMD one we were fiddling around with. I figure all these files are made out of ones and zeros, essentially. They're made out of hexadecimal. So, like, hypothetically, if they're stored in the computer in hexadecimal, right? If they are, like, this relates to hash values. This is what I'm thinking, is it? If you can get a hash value on a file, if you can look up the file's properties, like, look, this program cannot be run in DOS mode. If you Google that, I would expect a lot of programs to come up, because basically the beginning of every executable on Windows starts with the MZ, which is like the initials of a programmer, and then you get your this cannot be run in DOS mode. And so yeah, you're gonna find that in every executable file. So if I Google that, I really should get every executable file, should I not? I mean, isn't that what a search... I mean, seriously, what is a search engine? People have been trying to figure this out since Yahoo, back in the 90s. Yahoo. How do you even pronounce it? What's a search engine? Is it supposed to come up with useful results? Yeah, useful for who? I figure the more literal I am, the closer that I make my query to an actual SQL query, the better my results should be. But that ain't how a search engine works, is it? No fault. And so, like, if I was to Google what this program cannot, let's take that part. If I look for that, I'd expect thousands and thousands of executables to show up, right? But that ain't That ain't the case. Uh, Although that is kind of what I'm expecting to find. Okay, and now you see we've got a user asking about malware and viruses, right? And so that's where this, what I'm talking about, the contents of the file, that comes back to like, if you want to get like a, let's just do like a MD5 sum on the cmd.exe, and we know that the particular one that I have results in this value. So if I look for that, I'm going to find a bunch of people talking about cmd.exe, just like I'm doing right now. Because that's what you're going to get. See, malware, they're saying that it's not malware, it's just cmd.exe. This is what a healthy copy looks like. Unless I've been backdoored, in which case that's news to me. Well, I've got a standard. So it's like you can look up these hash values and you'll get your results. But if you look up the actual content of the freaking binary, you're not going to get your results. I think that's stupid. I think if you're looking up the contents of, but I guess it relates back to the Google dorking, huh? Is that what it is? Is Google trying to keep me from dorking? Dude, I'm a dork. I've got a dork. It's like, I dork, I am a dork, I have a dork. Sometimes guys call their thing their dork. You know? It's just like that. It's like, seriously, man, I'm a dork. I Google dork. You can't stop me from Google dorking. Like, it's a silly thing to do. It's like, if we're gonna index the internet, let's index the internet. If we're gonna make a theme park, let's make a theme park. If you're gonna take me on a tour bus, take me on a tour bus. If I'm gonna go hiking on a back trail, then I'll go. You know what I mean? Do you want to ride the tour bus, or do you want to go hiking on the back trail? You probably want to go hiking on the back trail. Probably more Oh, but it's so dangerous. Yeah, dangerous for whom? It's dangerous if you don't listen to me. Because I know how to navigate dangerous areas pretty damn well. So it's real dangerous if you don't listen to me. But that's up to you. Don't listen to the guy that's been a security expert his whole life, that's been paranoid about getting fucked over his whole life. Yeah, don't listen to that guy. He's not concerned. Yeah. Oh well. What can I say, you know? I'm not trying to convince you that my way is the right way. I know it's the right way. I put a lot of thought. I'm not going to talk about it if I don't have a lot of thought put into it. That's just one example. And so, I don't know, man. I was looking for something on Google, I guess, and I didn't find it. Oh, yeah, the Yeti. Yeah, I think that's a terrible name for the console, and if it hasn't been released yet, you know what I'm talking about, right? Let's see, is it for sale? Doesn't look like it's for sale. Let's see. Google Yeti. When was this published? Back in 2018. That's some pretty old news. I'm going to have to assume that that project's been scrapped. Back in 2018, I don't think they were using that cartoon Yeti for anything. I think back in 2018, I would have referred to that thing as a Sasquatch. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, man. All right, well, yeah. It's a pretty good monster. I don't know. What am I waiting for? Let's see, we got the stream, we got the microphone. Um, yeah. Alright. Let's play some damn video games. Oh, I should put my headphones on. That's right. The freaking audio was feedbacking the whole time yesterday, it seems. So headphones should solve that. I guess I'll leave my door unlocked. Because if I get a dentist appointment and I gotta go, that'd be really annoying if my door was locked and nobody told me. You know, I would be trying to get a dentist appointment myself, but guess what? I know it's a holiday and I don't expect to get one, especially on short notice. So I'm not too fond of wasting my time, especially if I like know what the outcome is gonna be. Of course I will, if I have to, if I must. If I must waste my time, I will. But you know what I mean. Like going to court. Oh, that's not a waste of time. That's upholding the justice. Oh, of course. Traffic court. Yeah. It's not just another racket, so they have more money to work with. Oh no. Depends on the situation, doesn't it? Doesn't. Okay, audio cable. This needs to go. Yeah, I've got a surround sound system 5-port audio thing on this motherboard here. This MSI motherboard, and I don't know how to work it. Hopefully, my TV speakers. Hopefully, I can hear. Let me see. Let's do a test. Oh, that is perfect. Wait a minute. Did I hear that out the speakers as well? Yeah, that is coming. That's out the speakers and out my headphones. Okay. I know how to fix this, I think. Let's see. I don't think you'll be able to see this. No, not at all. It's a TV menu thing. Let's see. Settings. Audio. TV speakers. Off. There. Let's try that test again. Oh, I didn't hear a thing out of the speakers or out of my headphones. That's a bummer. Hmm. Aha. I have a USB audio interface. All right, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go get my USB audio interface, and I'll kick off part 2 of the Grand Theft Auto stream, and that'll happen. It's 9:11 a.m. right now. I'll have this up by 9:30. All right. Thanks for sticking around, and